I'm not a racist. I can't tell you how sick I am, but I apologize. I don't want to keep addressing it.
Yeah, I'm not a racist. I got on a black shirt. I can't be racist. Well, Jon Gruden, he ain't going to address the issues anymore, at least as the Raiders head coach. He is out. He's already scrubbed from the team's site, resigned last night amidst the controversy. Welcome to Start Your Day. We've been talking about it all morning long. We'll continue to have this discussion and push it further. Good morning once again, Sharon.
Good morning. You know, I was just eating a sandwich, a spicy sandwich. And as they were saying, stand by, I thought, should I hurry up and finish chewing my sandwich? And then I thought, this Gruden isn't even worth me emptying out my mouth, digesting fully my sandwich. He's just so low rent. And this little cute con act he did that made the media fall in love with him and black players fall in love with him, when the truth is he threw away black players when he needed to, just like everybody else in the NFL. And he decided to climb and be part of that. He was born into that inside NFL bubble anyway. You know, the father, the whole thing, anointed even before he did anything. I'm going to say it again. He needs to thank Tony Dungy for that Tampa Bay Super Bowl team, right? And I even think that was a setup. Remember when Tony, he was like, Steve, anybody could see that they were about to win it all. And suddenly Dungy's out and the golden one is set up to take the victory. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but that's how I still see that situation. And even if it's not true, that's what I'm going with in my mind, because it just didn't sit right with me. Tony Dungy didn't get enough credit, Mike. So, right. But, you know, what Gruden has done in these emails, and he probably left with his golden parachute, let's be clear here, with the one line from the ownership, I've accepted his resignation. What he's done in these emails is take the fall for an entire league. Was he emailing himself, Mike? Perhaps, you know. Let me bring in Anthony Amey, and then I'm going to give you the first floor and ask the first question, because he's our sports anchor. We joked prior to coming on this morning, Anthony, that it'd be great to talk about the on-the-field action. But we can't do that because former Coach Gruden's a racist, a misogynist, and a homophobe. So we're going to have to just follow that headline instead.
Yeah, no.
Good morning.
Sharon and Mike, good morning to you both. It would be wonderful if we could just talk about what occurs on the field of play, on the court, so on and so on. But unfortunate news like this continues to leak out. So, all right, so 3.5 years ago, Las Vegas owner Mark Davis made a bet and clearly lost that bet. January of 2018 brought Gruden back to the then Oakland Raiders and gave him a 10-year contract worth a reported $100 million. So Sharon alluded to this. Many believe Gruden is forfeiting at least the majority of that $60+ million he had left on his deal by resigning. But as Sharon alluded to, one would imagine there could be some payout of some sort. Lawyers will likely be involved. Gruden's record, though, as Raiders head coach in his second stint, uninspiring, and that's to be kind. 22-31, 0 playoff appearances.
Yeah, he has not been worth the money. Of course, after winning the Super Bowl in Tampa, he got fired there. Went to work as an analyst for ESPN Monday Night Football. Actually did a good job on air there. That's where he made his name. But now he's really hadn't delivered much of anything since he led Tampa Bay to that Super Bowl, has he?
Yeah, no, and look, Mike, Sharon brought up an excellent point, and you are not alone. Sharon, many people feel that Dungy, that was his team that Gruden won a Super Bowl with. Could ownership have gone to Tony Dungy, the Hall of Fame coach, and said, look, we need a real offensive mind because the defense is here. That could have gotten them over the hump, just the same as Jon Gruden being in charge there. But anyway, for all of that money, all that trust that Mark Davis showed Gruden in hiring him, 3 winning seasons, Mike, out of the 9 since he led the Bucs to the Super Bowl. That was 19 years ago. So that was after the 2002 season. So long ago, Shaq and Kobe were defending NBA champs. They had just completed their three-peat. LeBron James was still in high school, and this season, Gruden did get the Raiders off to a good start, 3-0, but they lost their last 2 games and were sliding. And again, 22-31 record in this his second go-round as a head coach. Mediocre for a lot of money.
Yes, the anointed one. And I personally, Anthony, believe he got the bulk of it and is not forfeiting it, because if we think that he was only emailing over that period with, you know, that guy, the team president in Washington. He's been emailing a lot longer than that. And he probably said, "Oh, Mr. Davis, I got emails. We've all been emailing around here, so I can go quietly." Or anyway, as for what he said, the substance of the emails, where he said the racist, homophobic, misogynistic things, particularly what he said about DeMaurice Smith, the NFL Players Association head, we've seen that. DeMaurice Smith, for his part, has taken the high road. Why wouldn't he? He did nothing here. But Gruden also used some nasty words in discussing the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, discovered by the league investigating the Washington football team, whose president was Gruden's former colleague, Bruce Allen. And give us more of his history.
Yeah, well, Bruce Allen, the general manager, team president of the Washington football team for the decade of the 2010s, also extremely mediocre to flat out bad in that 2010s decade. Worked with Gruden in Oakland and again in Tampa. Gruden, as you guys have alluded to this morning, used his personal email. Allen responded from his work/team email account. So, as you guys have noted, many unacceptable things said and seen/passed around in that correspondence. But you mentioned Sharon DeMaurice Smith taking the high road, and no surprise at all. You guys have spoken to DeMaurice Smith on this network, and he's as classy as it comes when it comes to a union head. I suppose, look, it's collective bargaining. There will be some people that don't have necessarily nice things to say about the union head. There will be some players that don't have very many nice things to say about ownership when it comes to collective bargaining, when you are negotiating deals that include billions of dollars. But DeMaurice Smith certainly taking the high road, a class act in this entire thing. And one of the things that he mentioned that I think many of us can understand and attest to is that for people like him, you have to have thick skin to do that job, especially, as he put it in his words, when you have dark skin, like I do. Again, quoting him, in this corporate world. So Bruce Allen and Jon Gruden, the comfort level is something that has to be concerning. And this is something that the league, frankly, has to take a look at. This is what we are all talking about and begging for when it comes to diversity inclusion. Now, there have been some steps taken, as we know. Jason Wright in Washington, the first black team president in NFL history, who succeeded Bruce Allen in that department. You also had hires this season in terms of general managers, Brad Holmes in Detroit, Terry Fontenot in Atlanta. So the needle's moving, it's moving really slowly. And then, of course, you also have coaches like Gruden, where you only have 3 black head coaches in the National Football League, in Miami and Brian Flores, and also in Pittsburgh, of course, Mike Tomlin, who's entering his 14th season in the league, and David Culley, 66 years old, who had to wait decades just to get his opportunity in the National Football League. He's the head coach of the Houston Texans. So this is what we're discussing. This is what we're talking about when we're saying inclusion, diversity is necessary so that people can't feel comfortable being able to email and communicate comments such as the ones that we've been made privy to by Jon Gruden in that New York Times article.
Yeah. We're
not
out of
enough,
time, Anthony, but real quick. Yeah, no, it's not. Go ahead, Mike.
A Band-Aid over a bullet wound. That's basically what it is. I mean, we need ownership. We need more general managers. We need more team presidents. I'm pretty sure Allen deserves a job. I know he deserves a job in Washington. But you got to think, if the team realized what Allen was doing, the Washington president, what he was doing, and now they got a black president to replace him. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, and look, Mike, again, I was being kind. Bruce Allen was not good at all in his job. In that decade of the 2010s, the Washington football team.
Kind.
Yeah, no, Sharon, you're right. They were putrid most of those seasons. And again,
and you're a Washington
the buck
fan.
stopped with him. Oh, absolutely. So again, we can only imagine what else was said in all of those emails. And keep in mind, this was as the league was investigating that franchise for its own misogynistic behavior and culture over the course of that decade.
That's the reason it came
NFL,
out.
right. And hi, is the NFL saying enough?
It's the
We're out of
only
time.
reason it came out.
Anthony Amey, that was rhetorical. You right,
we
Mike.
appreciate it.
You right. Anthony Amey, thanks so much for your insight. Maybe we'll talk football sometime. Maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, right?